as always. So if you notice anything wrong with the sound or the audio or anything, please let me know before we get really far into the lesson. But we'll see how things start here. Hopefully they start right up. There it is. All right. I think we're probably good to go. So we'll get right on into the, yeah. All right, I think we're good. I just like to make sure that the stream starts before I begin. You know what I mean? Rather than getting far into the lesson with, beforehand. But hello, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. And yeah, we're going to get right on into the lesson. I know I keep saying that, but I mean it this time. So let me do our little intro here, and which bleeds right into the first point, so it's nice and snappy. Let me try that again. Sorry, I messed up. All right, one more time, I promise. This is an A minor chord, E major, finishing out with A minor. Did you know that music analysis is something that you should be adding to your practice routine regularly? And a lot of students are not. This is something that will become really beneficial to you even if you're a beginner piano player. I'm going to talk more about how you can analyze your own music even if you're just starting out. But I'm also, later on in the lesson, going to talk about the other things. There are a lot of things, by the way, that you should be adding to your practice routine, but you're not, and it's holding you back. Your piano teacher Tim here. Make sure you subscribe. You have all notifications turned on because we have new lessons coming out all the time, and you don't want to miss a beat. So let's analyze this piece of music together. Hello, everybody. Hello, Jeremy and Emma and everybody. If you notice, I forced everybody to subscribe to be able to leave a comment, but let's just continue. Man, messy over to the side of the table. We'll fix that with a zoom in. Nobody will know. Okay. Here we go. I wanted to do, I had a specific page in mind. Yeah, like this one. Okay, here's our piece of sheet music. I'll even do one a little bit easier right after this to show you what I mean. Even as a beginner player, you can use music analysis to your advantage, which is analyzing the music before you start playing it so that when you start playing it, your brain has more stuff to go off of. So specifically, we're looking for things like our key signature. So if you've been playing for a while, you know what that is. It tells you that all notes in the whole piece are sharped. All Fs are sharped unless they tell you otherwise. So not only am I looking for the key signature, I'm also looking for areas that kind of go against the key signature, or naturals, as I should say. Things like accidentals as well, looking out for those. Because those types of things where they're changing what's normal or what's usual are things you're going to have to really be on the lookout for when you're playing, and looking at them ahead of time, analyzing them, will help you out tremendously. I don't know why I said it like that. Okay, on to the next point. So not only time signature, or key signature rather, time signature is the other thing you want to be on the lookout for. Now, if you're just starting out in the first few weeks, you probably do know what this is. This is the 4/4 time signature. It tells you that there are 4 beats in each measure, and that the quarter note gets 1 beat. So you always want to be thinking not only what is my time signature, but what does this really mean? How many beats in a measure? what note gets one beat. You'd be surprised how many times students will start playing a piece in 6/8 and play it like it's in 4/4, just with, you know, with more beats. And it will not work out well like that. So remember that you're always not only analyzing what's going on in the music, but make sure that you're really thinking about what that means for the piece that you're about to play. Other things, I'm looking for other rhythms. So notes and rhythms are basically what you're on the lookout for. Key signature, you know, accidentals, then we got our rhythm, time signature, and then other parts of rhythm might be, you know, like syncopation, which happens right here. I forgot where it occurred. You know, where notes are tied over. Ties get a lot of people, so be on the lookout for those. And just other rhythmic things that may appear that you may want to be on the lookout for, like that, holding that fermata there at the last measure. Also, just kind of take a general gander at the chords, the chord progression. Sometimes they'll even give you like these numbers here, and believe it or not, these actually mean something. These are actually telling you what number of the scale that chord is based on. So if we're in the key of C, our 1 chord is just going to be built off the first note of C. Our 4 chord will be built off the 4th note, and 5 off the 5th note. And that changes for whatever key that you happen to be in. We happen to be in G with this piece, so our first chord will be G, C is our 4th, D is our 5th, and you always got to make sure that you adhere to the key signature. So music analysis will take you a long way. Let's analyze something a little bit easier. Before I do that real quick, just be careful of other things like repeats. All right, I'll prove that even if you're like just starting out, you can use music analysis. Here's probably the easiest piece or exercise in the whole book, this left hand warm-up. So what is there to analyze here? Not much, right? But there are things. So you got bass clef, which means you're going to be working with your left hand. You also have finger numbers. You know, you can chart those out ahead of time, kind of think about where your hand position is going to be. So in this particular one, they want your thumb on G and to lay the rest of your fingers down like that, and then your hand is in position. So when you're just starting out, you can still use music analysis. It's going to be a lot simpler, right? Because there's a lot of things you haven't learned yet, but always think about what you've been learning and apply it to the piece that you're about to play. And just taking a minute to do that, I'm telling you, will make a huge difference. And it should be a regular part every day that you're practicing. Let's talk about the second thing that you should be practicing, but I know that you're not. All right. Let's bring the chat back. Hello, everybody. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. I'm calling out everybody today, Emma. So you're not safe and nobody is. All right. Especially Jeremy. All right, we're going to continue here. Okay, perfect. Let me bring something up on staff pad. I meant to do this beforehand. And I knew I was for... You know how, like, sometimes you leave the house and you're like, I know there's something I forgot. Hello? What is going on here? Hold on. There it is. It was sleeping. It's still sleeping. I swear we will continue with the lesson eventually. Here we go. We did it. Okay, let me just write intervals up here. Okay, stylus. Here it is. Great. Yes, here we go. Perfect. The next thing, are you ready? is intervals, which is the distance between two notes. Now you may be saying, Tim, I know about intervals. You're full of it. But are you practicing it on the reg? I doubt it. So let me show you, basically how you should be practicing your intervals. A good way to practice intervals is to go through the sheet music you do have and just take a few minutes to see what intervals you can find. Being able to read by intervals can help you read music way, way faster. And you need to know these like the back of your hand. So like I said, an interval is just plainly this distance between two different notes. And one thing I want to tell you is that intervals go from seconds up to octaves and beyond. So what I mean by that is that this right here is a second. And Carrie is going to bing tell you that that's a second right there. It just means that these two notes are two notes apart on the piano. So let me show you kind of what I mean. So you have a note here, there's one, and then you have a note there, that's two. 1, 2. There's your second. Sounds awful when you play them together. And you can tell a second right away because they're stacked like that, side to side. And then you can tell as you move notes up and increase the interval, it also kind of lines them up vertically instead. A pro tip, are you paying attention? Good. So all even number intervals, if you remember from school, is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. That's how even numbers work. The interval on the page, I can't talk today, the interval on the page do not match. Now, you'd be like, what does that mean? Here's what it means. Here, wait. Here it is. Hold on. So what that means is that if the bottom note is on a line, the top note is going to be on a space. And if the bottom note is on a space, the top note is going to be on the line. And that's what I mean by that they don't match. So as you can see here with the second, it doesn't match. These ones don't match. They're a little further apart. So that's a fourth, sixth, and you want to learn at least up to an octave. And you want to get to the point where I can identify this right away and be like, boom, that's an octave. I know that the bottom note's E, and therefore an octave 8 notes above has to be that E. And that's how it can make your playing a lot better, or being able to learn pieces a lot easier, because not only will you be able to use the things we've been learning, like every good boy deserves fries, face, all those mnemonic devices, you can use those in addition to your intervals, and you can read notes faster. Let me show you actually in a practical sense in a piece of sheet music. So let's flip to a page, shall we? And boom, we're going to take a look at Alpine Melody. Now I could fumble along and take my time and read those individual notes. But if I know, and I've been practicing my intervals on the reg, I know, oh, that's a D, and then that's a third down, and then that's a third down, and that's a third up, and that's a third up. So I know that that's outlining a G major chord. It really helps. There's also a practice assignment online at musictheory.net. I will link it to you, and you can follow that link once you're done the lesson to specifically just practice your intervals. It'll be like, boom, what are these two notes? You're like, oh, that's a second. Boom, these are these far apart. Oh, that's a third or a fifth or something like that. By the way, one thing I wanted to mention is I mentioned the evens, but the odd number intervals do match. So if the bottom one's on a line, the top one's on a line. If the bottom one's in a space, the top one's in a space. So if they match, that's an odd number interval, 3, 5, 7, 9. If they don't match, it is an even number interval, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 plus. All right, there's more stuff that you're not adding to your piano practice, and it's holding you back. And of course, the next one is a little bit similar, but very, very different. And that is your rhythm. So you've probably been learning rhythm, and students learn how to count, like what quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. You learn about different time signatures and all that, and you're going to be playing pieces with all those things in it. But how often is it part of your regular piano practice routine? You may be even thinking, how do I practice just rhythm? Well, your piano teacher, Tim, has you covered like always. That's why you're subscribed to the channel, right? And I'm going to show you one easy way to practice counting rhythms. I, by the way, have a lesson on this I just recently made. I'm going to link it to you so you can follow it here at the end. So you want to be looking at the music that you're playing or a piece that you haven't played before, either way, and you want to actually chart out the rhythm by writing it down. And I've already kind of done this here in this first measure here, where I have and, because that's a pickup measure, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that hits on and. Yeah, so and that one hits on and. So after you chart it out, then you want to go through and count and play and clap the rhythm. So therefore, this rhythm here in the first complete measure with the pickup measure is I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. And you really want to try to nail down the rhythms that you're not as familiar with. Specifically, like dotted quarter rhythms get people a lot. So you're really going to want to chart those out with the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 ands. If you don't know how to do that, guess what? I got lessons on the channel all about this, but this is just what you should be adding to your practice. And going through your sheet music and practicing the rhythms that are written is a great way to practice. Again, like I said, I have a lesson fully on like all the ways you can practice your rhythm. You're definitely going to want to check that one out. After this one, like I said, I'll be a nice guy and I'll link it for you. So let's get on to the next one, which is chords. It's another thing that you've probably learned about, and if you haven't, again, guess what? I have lessons on the channel, so don't worry about it. Are you tired of me whispering yet? So the thing is that a lot of students do not actually go through and practice their chords every time they practice, and they should, because chords, believe it or not, show up in like every piece ever made. Not exactly. You might show me an example where it wasn't, but 99.9% of the pieces. This is how you should practice your chords. So once you've learned your chords, I would go through and I would start playing all the major chords that you know, and I would play them in a root position between both hands, and then I would play their inversion until you get back up to root position again, and then back down. And then what I would do is I would go up to the next chord. Oops. Oops, let me try that one again. Each time I would move up one, playing the major chord, until I got through all of them back to C. That would cover every major chord, and then you want to do the same thing with your minors. By the way, you can change any major chord into a minor by lowering that middle note there on the root position. And then I would go through and play the next one. See, that one I would play a few times because it's a little bit trickier. It's not one I'm as used to, but that just goes to show that by practicing this regularly, I would have them all at the same level. Because what happens is a lot of students will know like C major, G major, A major pretty good, but things like B flat minor, F sharp minor, F diminished, or some of the weird ones, if you're not practicing those regularly and you don't see those in your music all the time, it will really throw you off when you do see them in your music. So again, the practice tip is practice chords every time you're sitting down to practice. If you don't know your chords yet, just like spend 5 minutes to learn about a new chord. There are chord charts online. I'll try to remember to link that for you because I'm a nice guy. And yeah, and then learn your chords. So if you do know your chords, remember, go through all the majors and all the inversions, and then the minors and all the inversions, and then the diminished and all the inversions, augmented, and then your seventh chords, so on and so forth, depending on like what level that you're at. But if you're just starting out and you're like, Tim, I don't know about anything you're talking about right now, don't worry about it. Just learn one new chord or something each time you sit down to practice. And then eventually you'll be able to get to the stage I just told you about. Let's get on to the next point. Let me do it back here. Hold on. Okay, one thing that students are not adding to their practice routine, and this is very, very common, and it doesn't just apply to piano, it applies to all walks of life. And that is, you're not getting outside of your comfort zone. You're only playing classical, or you only play jazz. And you're like, well, I'm a jazz pianist. I'm not going to need classical, or I play classical. I'm never going to need jazz, or I don't like jazz, or I don't like classical. But it's like, how do you know? Some of the things I've discovered in life are by doing things I thought I wouldn't like, and then I like them. And then it kind of broadens my horizons. But there's actually like a piano practice reason you should be playing things not only like in different genres, like jazz, classical, but different key signatures as well, right? So if you're only playing in the key of C, challenge yourself. Start learning something in the key of G, the key of D, something like that. If you've only been playing in flat key signatures, learn something in a sharp key signature. If you've been playing all slow pieces, learn something fast. If you've been learning all fast and happy, learn something slow, something different than what you're used to. This will help you be able to become more of a versatile musician, right? Being a musician, it depends on what you want out of it. Yeah, if you just want to play classical, but it is a really good idea to be able to, like, if your friend is like, hey man, I know you play piano and we have our like jazz band meeting up, and I know you're more of a classical guy, but we want to see if you want to try it out. Well, guess what? If you've tried jazz before or blues, you're more likely to say yes. Maybe you'll go. Maybe you'll have a great time. You'll meet a new friend. You'll meet your wife or something. You know what I mean? You just never know. So it will broaden your horizons, and it will make you a more well-rounded player and a more, I can't speak today, more well-rounded person, I promise. Let's get on to the next one. Let me just check in with everybody here. We'll be doing a webinar on chord progressions. Eventually, not in the next few weeks though. But thanks for coming out, Kate. I know it says Dave and Kate, but I think you're Kate, right? The chord charts here. Emma, can you find a link to the chord? Actually, all you need to do is you need to go to Google and type in chord chart. But I'll try to help you at the end. Everybody pay attention. I'm still teaching. Here we go. I'm just kidding. Okay, there's another skill. This skill that I'm about to tell you about is the most important piano skill of all time. And that's not even clickbait. I might even put that in the title. I don't know. But it's so true. And this skill that I am talking about is, of course, sight reading, which is finding a piece that you've never ever played before and playing it from sight, trying to play it through the first try. Now, ideally, you want to be sight reading something below your level that you can manage, but the whole idea is to be able to play from the beginning of this example to the end with as few mistakes as possible. Spoiler alert, you're going to make mistakes, but it's okay. Sight reading, what this does is this will get you being able to play through a piece of music without never have seen it before. And if you get good at sight reading, what this will do is this will actually make learning piano a lot less frustrating. And I promise you on this, You need to be working on sight reading every time you practice. Because when you get good at sight reading, guess what? It's not going to take 6 weeks before that piece sounds anything like it's supposed to, right? Isn't that frustrating that you start learning a piece? This happened to me all the time. You start learning a piece and you've been practicing it and you've been practicing it for like 2 or 3 weeks, and you're like, it barely sounds like Für Elise, or it barely sounds like Toccata and Fugue in D minor, or it barely sounds like anything at all. And it's so frustrating that it takes so long before it gets anywhere. Well, guess what? If you learn sight reading and you get good at it, you'll be able to look at these pieces and be able to play them not perfectly, but well enough to where they sound the way they're supposed to in general. You'll be able to get more of the finer details in the music because the notes will come to you more naturally. And you'll be able to learn piano pieces 10 times faster. Like I said, it's not a clickbait thing. It is literally the most important skill. And if you spend time on this skill, it won't let you down. Now, how should you be practicing sight reading? Well, you should be practicing sight reading either by finding like a lesson book and just turning to a page that you've never seen before. Like I mentioned in the beginning, though, it has to be a little bit below the pieces that you're currently learning. It also can't be way, way too easy. Unless you're just starting out sight reading, then go for the way easy stuff. But it has to challenge you just a little bit, but not too much to make it impossible to get through. Because think about it. If you say you've been learning Clair de Lune for, a long time. And wait, let me collect my thoughts here for a second so this comes out right. I totally lost my train of thought. Wait, let me take a sip of water here. It's a good day when you can't. You're like, what was I talking about? So I was talking about sight reading, and I was talking about how it can help you learn pieces faster. And then I was talking about, I can't believe I can't remember. I'm a little tired today, so that might be it. And then Clair de Lune. I don't know. What was I talking about, everybody? Kind of embarrassing. I can't even remember. Hello, piano champions. That's what I should call you guys. It was a point about Clair de Lune, but I know what I was talking about, like in terms of sight reading, but I don't remember how it applied to Clair de Lune. Yeah. No, here, I got it. So you don't want to be learning things way above your level, because think about it. You've been learning Clair de Lune, right? Say you've been learning that for a while. It took you weeks to get it to sound like anything at all. So it makes sense that you're not going to be able to sight read something at that level. It would just be way too frustrating. I mean, like, remember when you just started learning the piece, it took you so long to maybe get through the first page or the first few lines or something like that. So it makes sense that you want to be sight reading below your current level. So you can find a piece of sheet music and do it that way. There are also sightreadingfactory.com. There are different websites online designed to help you learn sight reading, and you can check those out. I'll try to link them to you once I get this lesson posted. Again, you want to watch it after the lesson. I'm going to try to include from now on, in the description, a list of additional resources. I have been doing that, but I need to make make it so you're like, oh, he talked about sight reading, and then you go in the description, you're like, boom, I'm going to learn more about sight reading because that's what he said. But that's just what I'm thinking. Anyways, let's see if there's anything else. Oh, there's one more, and I'm going to tell you about it. It's one actually that you're probably not expecting. You're going to be like, huh? But I swear students don't practice this at all, and you need to be. So here we go. And I am talking, of course, do you know what I'm talking about? No, because I haven't said it. I am talking, of course, about octaves. Octaves, playing them at the same time, is something you will see in your music a lot. Octave runs, playing arpeggios in octaves, you'll see quite a bit. If you're ever playing ragtime, well, guess what? It's nothing but octaves and sevenths and lots of other things, but a lot of octaves. So trust me that practicing your octaves will take you a long way, even if it might not seem like it at first. Although I think you probably already kind of got the idea of what I was talking about. So anyway, how do you practice your octaves? It's very simple. Pick a scale that you know. You don't know any scales, so learn a scale. We'll do the key of C major first. So here's a C major scale. And what we're going to do is I'm going to play the scale in octaves. And with the left hand as well. And then you want to try, maybe a different scale. So I know the key of G, so I'm going to do the G major scale. And you want to be as accurate as possible. I'd probably play that one a couple more times and then see maybe if you can get the speed up. So go through, play your scales in octaves, but then something that's like maybe a little bit of a challenge is then play arpeggios. So you have your chords. So there's a C major chord, and it's made up of the notes C, E, and G. If I play those all three separately, that's what we call an arpeggio. So play your arpeggios in octaves as well, and this will help you a lot. You will see that in your music all the time. Again, I have other lessons on the channel all about this stuff to get more and more details. So before we conclude, I have something very important to say. If you're liking what you see over here on the YouTube channel, you want to learn more, you want to go over to my website, pianolessonsontheweb.com, where I have over 20 courses designed to help you learn not just more about piano, but music theory, ear training, sight reading, rhythm, anything you need to become a well-rounded piano player and musician. I got you covered over on my website. You can use code YouTube as a special thank you for watching this lesson today. Use code YouTube for an additional 15% off any course. So go check it out. Let me know any questions you might have about it. Actually, I don't know how to end the lesson. Hey, guess what? I also have a lesson I'm going to put right there just for you that you want to check out next. It's probably going to be related to a lot of the points I talked about in this lesson. It might be about chords or sight reading or something, or maybe a collection of a lot of those skills that you need to be learning. So it's been your piano teacher, Tim, here. Thank you so much for coming by today, and I'll see you, yes, you, in the next lesson. Have a great day. All right, everybody, I'm still technically here. I just wanted to do an outro for the video. Oh, no. There was a number 7. All right, Carrie, if you're watching this. I don't know if he watches past past this part. Actually, I think he does. I am going to redo the outro. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's a secret 8th thing you should be adding to your practice. Do you know what it is? It's to watch my videos. You should be watching my videos every day, multiple times a day. And to make sure you're not missing anything out, I was going to say I tell you to subscribe. It doesn't make any sense. Wait, hold on. Oh my goodness, I can't think today. There is a secret 8th thing you should be adding to your piano practice. Are you ready for what it is? That's watching more of my videos. You should be watching my videos every time you practice. Well, maybe not, but you should be watching them on the reg. And by watching more and more of my videos and learning more about these little secrets and tips, guess what? You're going to become a more well-rounded piano player, musician, friend, son. Well, maybe not any of that other stuff, but you're going to become a well-rounded musician, and that's all that matters. It's been your piano teacher, Tim, here. Thanks for coming by today, and I'll see you, yes, you, in the next lesson. Have a great day. All right, I'm still here. I have no idea what's going on. What happened in the chat? Hi, everybody. Hello, Jerome. Hello, everybody. I just mostly follow my book, which actually isn't a bad way to go, for sure. Oh, thank you for linking. Oh, show my website. Well, what's his name will put it up there for me, Carrie, later on. But you're right, I should show it during the live stream. Tim, I'm playing the piano level 1. Should I follow the Alfred book too, which I have? Sure. Couldn't help. It'll give you some extra things to practice. I would treat it as like a supplementary thing to the course, but absolutely. In fact, during next year, early next year, I'm going to be revamping the courses, and I am gonna like try to include like, oh, you can also use this part of this book with the course, like pages 30 to, I don't know, like 55 or something like that, just to kind of give people more options, so they can be like, okay, you know, like I have like 5 exercises for this unit from Tim, and then like 2 pieces, but I want like some other, like some more pieces that are around the same level. Well, I'll be kind of telling you guys which ones to get through in the book. So that is something I will add to the courses for next year, but I don't want to talk too much on that because it will take me some time to do that. But that's like the priority for next year, is getting those courses revamped. The course material is going to stay the same. Like, I think it's still pretty good, but just more polish. I mean, some of the videos rather, I recorded a while ago before I had all this fancy stuff, and I wasn't as good at making videos back then. So I think it would benefit from making some new, like just cleaning up the lessons and everything, making them good. So that's my plan. But the courses definitely still stand on their own. Maybe there's an outro tutorial somewhere on the site called YouTube. Yeah, I actually know how to do an outro. I just am an idiot today. Oh my goodness. Actually, you know, the most important thing you should tell somebody at the end of your video is to watch another video. That's like the best thing you can do, from what I've heard. And also, you don't want it to be like obvious that the lesson's ending beforehand. But, you know, try my best here. All right, thanks everybody. I don't know. Oh, let me tell you like what's coming up in the next few weeks. I want you guys to join my Discord. It is literally in the description. It's the first link that appears. And let me get that for you guys. Link to Discord. Why should you join the Discord? Thank you very much, Rob NZ. I appreciate that. And yes, if you're a lifetime member of my, you're talking about like the courses over my website, and you've purchased them, you will automatically get the upgraded versions when they come out. I can't tell you when they're going to come out. I am going to try to get the beginner courses done like sometime like early on in the year, and then as the year goes on, I'll try to get those intermediate and advanced courses. Those will definitely take me longer, but just to let you guys know that. I want you guys to join the Discord. Now, the reason I want you to do that is that the Discord is like a place where we can all come together. It's kind of like our own little clubhouse where we can come together, ask questions, talk about our piano playing journeys, I guess you could talk about. And there's something special that I want to talk to you guys about that's coming up. The details are still coming about this, so I'm just kind of like pitching the idea to you right now, rather than like telling you this is exactly what's happening and this is exactly what it's going to be. But if you go to the Discord, right, which you should be right now. Oh, we got somebody to join. Welcome, welcome. If you go to the Discord, let me show you the Discord. A Discord. Here we go. Here's the Discord. So on the side of the Discord, so Discord's kind of like a big chat room thing if you've never used it before. There's like I guess they would just be called chat rooms. You can click on one, and each one has like a certain theme to it. So we have new videos and announcements. So I'll let you know, like, if I have to cancel or if I'm posting a new video. New video is dropping tomorrow morning, by the way, guys. Just to let you know. Like a pre-recorded one. The student recital showcase I'm probably going to delete. The one thing I want to tell you guys about right now, and I'm still fleshing out the details, this is the most important reason you should join the Discord, is that I'm going to set up this thing called Piano Practice Club. Now, what is this about? So I'm going to explain it. Piano Practice Club, think about it as a book club, right? If you've ever heard of a book club or joined one, you know that book clubs generally work like this. You get a group of people that all like reading, right? And they all read on the reg, you know, just like practicing piano on the reg. That means regular for all the boomers out there. So it's like a book club, but it's with piano practice. And so in a book club too, you have usually like a member or a few members that will suggest a book for everybody to read that month. And then you all read the same book. And then what you do is at the end of the month or the beginning of the next session, you talk about what you liked about the book or your experiences reading the book or the questions you had about the characters in the book, or you're talking about the book. So this idea is the same as a book club, except we're all going to be practicing a set of pieces together. Now, you may be thinking like, well, how can I play the same pieces as you, Tim? That doesn't make any sense for the month. And it doesn't. So here's what I'm going to do is there will be like a beginner recommended piece, like one in the middle, like an intermediate, and then one that's more advanced, and then maybe even like a real challenge one that I don't even think I'll do. Like I'll save that one for like the prodigies out there, students. And the other thing you have to understand is like I have a YouTube channel to manage. So the reason I want to start doing this is I want to get back into piano practice again. And I think a great motivator for not only me, but other students in this, you know, this YouTube ecosystem of ours would benefit greatly and be motivated by working on the same type of thing together. So how this will work is that again, I'm fleshing out the details, so it might change a little bit. The last live stream of each month, so the one next week, by the way, right? Or is next week the 1st? Did I miss it? It's the 1st already. The first one then will be at the end of October. Anyways, the last live stream of the month will be the Piano Practice Club. And the first one's probably just going to be me telling you which pieces to practice. But then we're going to meet the next time and we're going to go through. We're going to use the Discord. I'm going to ask like, okay, you know, who worked on, you know, the entry level piece, you know, Mary Had a Little Lamb or something, you know, if you're just starting out. And what questions do you have about it? Do you have a recording that maybe you'd like to either show me or show the class to get some feedback on? This is basically going to replace the student recital thing that we were doing. It's literally the same idea, except now we're all practicing kind of the same thing. Well, like I said, based on 3 different levels of where you might be at. And that's the idea. So at the end of each month, we're going to meet like we do right now. And I'm going to be like, all right, here's the first piece. And then we're going to go over it. Next piece, next piece, next piece. And even for like the more advanced pieces, maybe if you're not there yet, you're still going to get a lot out of it just hearing me talk about it. So you may be like, all right, maybe I can't play that piece yet, but Tim said to watch out for syncopated rhythms, or he said to watch out for that time signature. And over time, when you listen to that stuff, when you get ready to play those pieces, you're going to remember some of that and it's going to still apply. So I think it's going to be a great experience for us all. I think it's going to be a great motivator. I think it's going to be a great motivator for me, but I really think that other students, if they feel like we're all part of the same practice gang, you know, working on the same thing, I think that that will kind of bring us all together and hopefully motivate us all to practice more. It's not meant to replace what you're currently practicing. Like, I'm not going to give you like something so challenging that you're going to have to drop everything that you've been learning and throw it out the window. You know, but it's like something extra. You're like, all right, I've been working on Tim's courses and the piano piece for the beginners of the month is this, and I'm going to learn it. We're going to come together and then we're going to learn from our mistakes, answer questions, things like that. So hopefully I explained it right and you guys aren't super confused. But hopefully that works. October 29th is the last Friday of that month. Okay, a day after my birthday. Well, happy birthday in advance. So hopefully you guys like that idea. I think it's going to be a good one, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be really enriching. Like, I think people are going to get a lot out of it. People really love the student recital thing that we did. But the only difference with that one is people were just learning whatever they were learning, and we were playing, the recordings. But I think you guys got it. So look forward to that. I will have announcements soon. I think that I'm going to put up like an announcement video, since we don't really have one more live stream of this month. Yeah, maybe I'll put out a pre-recorded video sometime next week. Just being like, hey guys, this is Piano Practice Club. This is how you join on the Discord. This is what we're working on this month, and we're going to meet at the end of the month and talk about it. So that's the idea. Yes, it's always great to belong, says Wendy. I agree. Well, I actually came up with this idea, one, because I used to work at a library, and I was like, you could probably apply the same thing of a book club to practicing piano. And I think that would work great. I also got the idea from working out at the gym. So, like, working out on my own does okay. I was talking about this with somebody today. But what happens is, like, I'm highly motivated at first, right? And then what happens is, like, the next week I'm just a little less motivated, a little less. And then before you know it, after a month, I'm working out like half as much. But by going to the gym and being part of these classes that we kind of do together, it kind of is just like an extra motivator to keep me going and keep me at least somewhat in shape. I've actually been trying to lose some weight recently because I've been working on gaining muscle the last year. This is totally unrelated, sorry. But working on gaining muscle the last year or so. But unfortunately with that, I didn't do it 100% right because I did gain some fat with it. So now I'm trying to burn off that fat so, the muscles that I've built can show a little bit more, for vanity reasons. But to be healthier. It is healthier to be at a lower fat percentage. But this isn't about this right now. But let's go. Maybe you can also post one of these text cards in YouTube as an announcement. Yeah, so maybe you're talking about like the community post. I'll definitely make a community post about it. I'll make a few things about it. Maybe I'll even send an email to my email list. Yeah, I think the first announcement I'm going to push out hard just to let people know about it. And then I think as people see them being posted, they'll kind of get the idea. And I won't have to advertise on those as much. Guys, be on the lookout tomorrow for a new lesson. I apologize to, before we continue, I apologize to Emma, who I invited specifically here. And I didn't ignore her. Oh, she's heading to the store. Never mind. I just felt bad that I invited her here and I didn't say hi to her at all. But anyway, be aware that there's a lesson coming out tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, be on the lookout for that. It's a new lesson. No, I don't want to tell you anything about it. Just be on the lookout for it and watch it all the way through. A plant-based lifestyle is a good way to be healthy and gain muscle. That, Amando, you are mostly correct. You just have to be careful with doing that plant-based lifestyle, I think, is really good for losing weight. You have to be careful with a plant-based lifestyle to make sure that you're getting enough protein. It's entirely possible. But it is easier if you eat chicken and stuff like that. Chicken is like 30 grams of protein for like 120 calories, which is insane. But yeah, I have been trying to eat more, like more natural foods. You do have to be careful though. You can eat really healthy and get fat, I've learned. Like nuts are generally considered healthy, but the thing is nuts are really high in fat and really high in calories. So like a handful of nuts is like 200, 300 calories. And man, I just used to go through nuts like crazy, easily. And, I'd gain weight and be like, I don't understand, I'm eating healthy. But no, I was over calories because I was doing that. So yeah, plant-based thing is something you definitely can do, but you just got to be, it depends on what your training goals are. It really does. It really does. I lift a lot of heavy weight, so I have to make sure I get the protein in. and that's the way I do it. But you are right that plant-based generally is healthy. I'm a beginner, and I've listened to a lot of your lessons. Well, thank you, Kimberly. I really appreciate that. I hope you guys are looking forward to the piano practice club. I am. I think it's a great way. Let me put it this way. I've been thinking more, and if you've been following me for a while, you're like, oh, here he goes again with this. Every fall, I say this too. Every fall, I start thinking about, like, what's the next step for piano lessons on the web? You know, where are we going with this thing? Because we can't stay in the same place forever. I can't just be like, all right, I'm going to put out the same type of lessons and I'm going to do the same type of stuff forever. Because people, one, will lose interest. I'll lose interest too, which is bad. So I'm always thinking, like, what's the next step for us? And I have the idea. I actually call it Project Cube to be as non-descriptive as possible. So I'm working on something right now called Project Cube that will change. It's not going to like radically change things in the channel, but we're going to do things a little differently. I've been thinking about, let me put it this way. I've been thinking about like, okay, so there was a lot of established creators here on YouTube now. Not a lot, but like I would say 5 to 10 prominent piano teachers here on YouTube. And it's grown over the last 5 years, which is great to see. There's a lot of great channels out there. I recommend almost all of them. I haven't seen one of these channels that I just don't like. I generally would stay away from the ones that use more and more marketing, like learn piano in 3 days. I generally stay away from those. Not that they're bad, but, you know, I don't know. Anyways, there's a lot of great piano channels out there. So what I've been thinking about, and we all put out similar content, and I do recommend you do check out other people's content, although make sure you're subscribed to me, of course. Because even though we might do like the same lesson, like say Piano puts out a lesson that's like 5 things I wish I would have avoided when I practice piano, and I put out the same lesson. And the reason we do the same lessons is because those are the lessons people want to see. And we know that. We've been making videos for a while. But the great thing, the reason you should watch both of those videos, even though they have the same title or is very similar, is I might cover some things piano might not cover. They might cover something I don't cover, or maybe we'll phrase it in a different way or have a different perspective. So I really enjoy all of these different piano channels that have come up. But what I've been thinking is like, what value does my channel offer piano lessons on the web? What things do I have to offer as a person that maybe they can't offer, or maybe that they're not as strong on? Like, what are my strong points? So I've been thinking about that a lot and how to incorporate those in the lessons. And that is part of the piano practice club idea, is kind of just playing into what I think I have to offer that maybe other channels aren't as strong in. Because we all have our strengths, that's for sure. Anyway, enough rambling on. I know I basically told you guys this roundabout thing and didn't explain anything. I'm like, I'm going to incorporate these things in the channel, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. Because I want you to figure them out. I want over time to be like, yeah, you know, we started doing this different thing, and I really enjoy this channel because of this different thing that we're doing. So that's just what I'm thinking about. Of course, I am trying to get more views, and to be honest, I just do that because it's a business and I got to keep things going. I would actually like to hire more people, but I'm kind of in a, I don't want to say a tough spot, like I'm financially drowning or anything, but I'm not in a spot to start hiring people. I gotta booster some things up before I do that. Thank you very much, Wendy. Rob says calories in versus calories out. Seco, yep. That's what, excuse me, that's generally what I go by. I also look at my macros a little bit, but I'm not a macro freak. Some people are like, oh, you got to have 40% protein and you have to have exactly 39 grams of carbohydrates per meal or whatever. I'm not like that, but I do try to get lots of protein, keep my calories. That's actually how I've been working on losing weight the last couple weeks, is staying close to maintenance, but a little bit under. Because if you go too below maintenance, your body will revolt against you and you won't have energy to train. And actually, you might even hold on to weight from that. slow down your metabolism. I mean, first time here, says Terrence, are you as good as Kyle Laundrie? I'm gonna be honest with you, no. Kyle practices a lot and he plays a lot of different pieces. My strength here on YouTube is that I am very good at explaining difficult things in an easy way that most people can understand. That's my strength here on YouTube. Am I the best piano player on YouTube? No, not by a long shot. And part of the reason we're doing this piano practice club is so I can get into practicing again and then become a better teacher for you guys. Because I really should be practicing on the reg, and I think, I think if we all did it together, it would motivate us. But that's my strength. I'll tell you right now, I know exactly what it is. I'm really good at explaining things clearly. Some days I can't speak. I can speak better than others. But, I think we all have that problem. So let me show you something here that I wanted to tell you about. So if you look at the main page of the channel, this kind of just goes into what I was just talking about. If you go to the main page of the channel, piano lessons on the web, by the way, I changed the banner, and the banner puts it, I think, so perfectly what we're all about here, and so perfectly the mission of the channel: practical piano instruction for everyday people. I'm not the piano instructor for somebody that's like, I took lessons for 17 years and my parents slapped me with a ruler. you know what I mean? Like the really like and I'm a prodigy. I'm the piano teacher for like the person who always wanted to learn how to play piano, and maybe they had a little bit of a chance when they were younger, but it's something they always wanted to do. And their goal is not to become the world's best, right? Their goal is to learn that piece they've always wanted to learn. They want to impress their grandmother or something, or family member. Something, maybe a smaller goal, but just as meaningful, right? So I am really the piano teacher for like the hobbyist learner, which is most people. Right? Most people are not going on YouTube to learn piano lessons. I have met some that do buck this trend that I could talk about. But most people are like, I want to learn piano so I can play for release. And then kind of go from there and see how good I can get from there. That's like when I train at the gym. I'm not trying to become the world's best bodybuilder. My genetics are not going to allow me to do that anyways. And I'm also a little bit older to start like Olympic training or something crazy like that, right? But it's the same kind of mindset. It's like I go to the gym to get in shape, to feel healthier, to accomplish a smaller but just as meaningful goal, right? And that's my strength as a teacher on YouTube, and I'll always stick by that. And that's the reason you should come to my channel, is because I can explain difficult things in a way that like the everyday person can understand. I'm not going to use big words unnecessarily, and if I do use big words, I'm going to tell you what those words mean. Some teachers are jerks, and literally, it's like statistics teachers are like that too, where sometimes like they just try to sound smarter, so they're like, oh, this thing in the secondary dominant to the I don't even know. I would have to see like a specific theory example to start spouting off all these words, but I try to make learning piano approachable. There you go. And that's what we're all about on this channel. To grow the love of learning music. Now, if you do want to become a professional musician, yeah, you can learn from my lessons just as well. But I do recommend that maybe after a year or two that you get a private lesson teacher, because if you're trying to go for the best, or trying to reach big, that's really what you want and you know it, go for it. But I'm just being honest with you about what the channel's about, and I think that we accomplish our mission well. Let's go through here. You can teach stuff in an interesting way, not in the usual wait, not in the usual uber cool, way too energetic way most YouTubers seem to be these days. I've been trying to add more. Actually, if you watch my old videos, I have like almost no energy. I was going through kind of a tough time, and I was also getting used to being on a camera. I tried to bring the right amount of energy to it, right? I try to bring like, hey guys, I'm excited to be here, but not like, hey guys, you need to smash like, we need to get 5,000 likes or the world will explode, or I'm not that crazy. I am going to start to have more and more fun with my videos, though. That is a little tidbit I'll give to you, but it's not going to be... It will remain authentic to who I am. It's a really great idea. Self-learners are crying out for some sort of feedback from teachers or their peers. Exactly. So I think the Piano Practice Club is going to be amazing for that. That will kind of bridge the gap between YouTube and everything else. Thumbs up from Rob. Thank you. Yes, that is your strength. That's what I mean about you being like a brother. Oh, thank you. You really seem to be able to explain things to us. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I know that that's my strength because many, many people told me that. Like many. And I've taught people in person for many years, up until COVID. So I was always the fun piano teacher. Like I would be the piano teacher where like the parents would be like, at some point would be like, well, they would say to their kids like, well, do you want to do like dance lessons or try something else instead? Because a lot of parents will get their kid into music lessons only for like a couple of years just to get them the experience, see if they love it, see I found that like over time, a lot of times the parents were like not suggesting they move on, but being like, well, you can start to keep taking piano, or you can do instead. And a lot of times the student would be like, no, I want to keep doing piano lessons with Mr. Tim. And I always liked that. That didn't always happen, but I always enjoyed that. And I always saw myself as the fun piano teacher. I'm a guitarist, and thanks to you, I learned how to read sheet music and got involved in rhythm signatures. That's amazing. That's great to hear. Thank you, Dean. I'm trying to learn how to play piano in general from YouTube. Well, that's great. Is there any order of lessons that I should try to learn? Absolutely. Let me bring something up for you for a second. Excuse me. Okay, so this is the main the main YouTube page, youtube.com/piano lessons, or no, just click on my name. You know how to get to a channel's main page probably, because I think it's actually youtube.com/lessons on the web, not piano lessons on the web, because I changed the name later on. Anyway, what I want you to do, I'll actually link this to you. Go down to this where it says courses for beginners. And I want you to start with this home piano course, the new 2021 version. It actually uses this book right here that you do have to, well, you don't have to, but you should purchase to follow along in the course. And that's where I recommend you start. That's actually why I made the courses, so when I get a question like that one, I can be like, watch this course. That's where you begin for piano. There's also one for music theory. Right here as well. So start out with these two, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a nice guy, and I am actually going to link you to this page right here in case there's some odd hiccup in doing this. Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate that. Here you go. So this is the other link. Jeremy gave you a link to the main page, and then this link should take you to just those courses. Oops. Oh, good. Okay. Let me get out of this page before I show you something I'm not supposed to, like a DM or something. I think one time I showed my DMs with Emma by mistake. I was like, oops. None of them are bad, by the way. We keep it mostly PG. You're very welcome, Sammy. And everybody, of course. All right, we're probably... Emma's back, and we're about to wrap it up. You're late, Emma. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. Trying to think about anything else that I have to tell you guys? I told you about Piano Practice Club coming up. Make sure you check out the Discord. The updates for that will appear there. I'll also try to update you on the channel, but the Discord, I'm telling you, is, well, you're going to want to join the Discord, because to join the Piano Practice Club, you're going to have to join the Discord. So join that Discord. What are you waiting for? Practicing exercise at the moment. Be right back. That's fine. No problem. What the heck, Tim? You can't end it now. All too bad. Isn't it? It's super late for you anyway, Emma, so I'm going to let you get some sleep, I think. But let me think about if there's anything else I want to tell you before we go. I think I gave you all the announcements pretty much. Oh, I told you this before, but I'll tell you again. New lesson dropping tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So be on the lookout for that. Also, go to, remember, pianolessonsontheweb.com. And then use code YouTube for 15% off. It's 10 p.m.? I thought it was like the middle of the night. I thought it was like 4 a.m. your time. But maybe I'm off. Maybe I forgot what time conversion is. That's true, Emma. You're usually up like until... She's in the magical time zone of Denmark. Oh, my name? My name is... Beep, censored. No, my name is Tim. And, I mean, you can find my full name if you look hard enough. But, I don't know. I'm just going to say my name is Tim for now. Because that's really all you guys got to know. To tell you the truth. Don't worry about this ending anytime soon, as he's struggling to do a proper outro today. That's true. Earlier I was like, how do I do an outro? And then he was like, yeah, you know, there's videos on how to do an outro. It's like, well, I'm just an idiot today. You know. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. See you then. Thank you very much. It won't be live, but it will be a lesson, so make sure you check that out. It's four for me too, Sammy. So we are in the same. I'm on the East Coast, in case anybody wants to know. Gotcha, Tim. All right, thank you, everybody. I just want to tell you guys that I love your content. And okay, I'm waiting for Mario. I need to get this and in here. It's nice talking to you guys again. By the way, I know for a long time. I know for a while we weren't doing regular live streams, and I'm not even going to apologize for that, because I just had to do what I had to do. I was feeling burned out. I felt like after a while, and I mentioned this before, when we were doing the live streams, like I think it's been at least a year since we've been doing them like regularly, like every Friday. And I think it was even longer than that. And I got to the point where I felt like I didn't want to do it, which was bad. Like, I don't want to get to that point where I show up on Friday and I'm like, oh man, I got to do this again. So I wanted to take a break, because now, and I'm glad I did, and I worked on other things in my life that I think kind of improved my mood and my energy. And but now we're back. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be at these Fridays, and that's what you want. I didn't want to come in here being like, oh man, I don't want to do this, but I'm feeling better. Maybe I was a little depressed with the pandemic going on. I don't know, but yeah. Would it be recorded on YouTube? I have a meeting tomorrow. Yeah, it's pre-recorded. The lesson coming out. Yeah, always take a break if you feel burnt out, or else it will not end well. I agree. There's this thing on YouTube, though, and you probably heard other YouTubers maybe talk about this. You feel like you're running on a treadmill, and I've gotten over this now. Like, there are certain... Becoming a YouTuber, like, full-time, and then getting, like, somewhat successful, it's like an adjustment. It's not... I'm not going to say it's, like, hard to deal with compared to other jobs, because it's not. But there are definitely, like, some things to get used to. And I used to always feel like I had to keep running on the YouTube treadmill or my channel would die. And yeah, when you stop putting out as much content, your views go down. But it doesn't die. Like, if you, so long as you remain like somewhat in contact with your audience, putting out a lesson every once in a while, being like, hey guys, you know, we're not going to do this as much for a while, and then coming back, that works out. But I realized that after all this time, you don't have to feel like you're running on the treadmill. I think when you're first starting a channel, you kind of do. I think it is really important to put out consistent content in the beginning when you don't have like a catalog. of things to bring people in. But yeah, you're welcome for coming back to the live stream. I know that you guys love the live stream. That's one thing I also started to notice is that when I wasn't doing the live stream all the time, except when Tim least checks, when I wasn't doing the live stream all the time, I felt disconnected from all of you. Like I felt like yeah, I'd see your comment on like a video every once in a while, but I wasn't like, I didn't feel like I was talking to you like I am now. You know, I wasn't like, oh, hey Emma, hey Rob, hey, you know, Jeremy and Sylvia. When you just put out like pre-recorded lessons, or videos, you just don't really connect as much. Jazz tips for beginners. Well, you kind of snuck that in at the end here, so I can't do that. You're gonna have to wait for a jazz lesson, bro, or lady. Oh, engaging personality. Hopefully that's about me. Thank you very much, Kate. And I also think the other thing is that keeps you in contact with me doing the regular live stream. So you actually have a teacher you can see. You know what I mean? I feel like if you there are other, don't get me wrong, all the other piano channels are great, but I feel like some of them you don't like ever get to know who they are at all. You know what I mean? Like you just see them how they present themselves in their pre-recorded videos, and you may notice like how I present myself in those videos that are edited is a little different than what you see, you know, at the live stream, especially when the lesson is over and I'm just talking about random stuff and talking about me. And you know, I just feel like you guys can get to know me a lot better that way, which is a really important thing, to have a relationship with your teacher, like a professional, proper relationship. You know what I'm talking about, student-teacher relationship. Anyway, guys, I'm going to head out. Thank you so much for coming by today. Make sure you go to pianolessonsontheweb.com. Use code YouTube for 15% off. Always got to plug your stuff. And thank you very much. It's been great. And more things, great things are to come. Actually, fun things. I don't want to say too much. All right, anyways, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.